Hi guys, this is Vidas. Welcome to this tutorial Learn with Vidas series, and today I'm going to teach you how to create a meditation on Auld Lang Syne tune, traditional Scottish tune, which is basically sung on New Year's Eve. We're approaching New Year's Eve very shortly, so it's a very suitable time to teach you this. I have created, by the way, meditation on this tune before. It's a little bit different than I will be teaching you today, so please check out it in the description of this video. This written down version from the previous year, it will be something also suitable for you to play. But today I will teach you a simpler version than I previously composed, and you probably know this tune very well, so we'll check it out very soon. And now let's take a look at the sample set that I have created that I chosen. Bet's organ from the Lutheran Church in The Hague, in the Netherlands. This is a Sweelinq sample set, and really delightful new sample set, which just had been released both on Hauptwerk by Sonus Paradisi and also on Sweelinq platform, so you can check it out both if you want. All right, so maybe I'll play for you the tune just in case you don't remember it very well. Let me play it on this registration, and I'll remind you how it sounds. It's just the tune without any other additions, just like a hymn, okay? It will be sort of a preliminary step to this. Get familiarized with the tune and harmonization. Enjoy. So, what do you think? I think it's really nice tune. Let me check the notifications. I will silence the phone now, so that I could actually focus on this. All right. Let me check if the stream is going well, and if you have any questions and concerns or requests, let me know in the live chat, okay? And hello, Niels. Good evening for joining. Wonderful to see you. And if you are late in this stream, go ahead and say hello in the chat. It's nice. Wonderful. So we are on the Lutheran Church in The Hague sample set one more time, and in The Hague. So it's really a beautiful sample set. What would you need? We would need to do at first, and we did it. It's to harmonize the tune, right? It's like the first step, and then we have to decide what kind of shape our meditation has to be, right? Meditation means doesn't play it like a fanfare, no fast rhythms, fast passages, right? Meditation is contemplative mode, and basically probably repetitive texture, nature of this. So it's a rather lovely and adagio sounding piece. Hello, Marcus. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the stream. And so let's take a look now at the next step. Next step is to select the registration, and the registration we will select after we select the texture of the piece and the form of the piece. I recommend you keep it simple and look at the form of the tune itself. It has four phrases of the tune of the chorale, right? If you have in front of you this tune, you could actually look at the screen. If not, just follow along what I'm playing. All right, and each of the phrase ends on the cadence. Let me play those cadences for you briefly. I will play on a solo registration like this. On the Hauptwerk, for example. On the trumpet tune, for example, that would be nice. Like this. So the first one, the first phrase. Okay. Second phrase. Third phrase. Fourth phrase. Okay. In some versions you can repeat the chorus, the refrain. And the last one. So essentially, we could have 6 phrases of this tune. 6. Okay. There is, of course, so to say, basically a musicological term for this. It's not technically a phrase, but a sentence, musical sentence, because a phrase is a shorter musical idea, right? Sentence is like a musical idea which ends with a cadence, like this. Right? This is a musical idea with a cadence. And the second sentence ends like that, right? And there are 4 or 6 sentences like this, right? And we are in the key of F major. I've seen versions in G major and F major. It depends on what is more comfortable to you, for you to sing. I suggest F major, right? Because it's a little lower. So if your congregation, for example, likes to sing it on the New Year's Eve, this tune, it's probably better to keep it lower to F major. That's why this tune with 1 flat. All right, and what else we should do? Okay, we should mark the starting pitch and the ending pitch, right? The first is C, 5th scale degree, and the last one is F, 3rd scale degree, right? And the lowest scale degree is 5, the starting note actually. And also there are several other instances of this C, 5th scale degree, but the highest note is probably D, right? Yeah, 6th scale degree on the top. So we know what we're working for, what we are working with. The first note and the last note, the lowest note and the highest note. That's our field of playing field, yeah, playing field, right? Once we know this, now we talked about the structure of the tune. Yeah, 6 phrases. Yeah. Remember meditation. Meditation is like a genre where it could be repeated. Some things could be repeated, some things could be new. So I propose the tune is new, but some phrases, some accompaniment figures between the tune, like introduction, could be repeated from time to time, right? And it's best if you repeat it after each chorale sentence, after each tune song sentence. So after each cadence, you insert like a little refrain which repeats itself from time to time. All right. So how to create this refrain will be our main task from now on for a few more minutes, right? Because after that it will be easy. If you create this refrain and you practice it and you memorize it, you can actually come back to it, and that will be very beautiful in this tune itself. So first we need to decide what kind of texture do we have, right? In which part do we play the Auld Lang Syne tune? In the top part, in the middle, or in the pedals, right? The easiest way would be, of course, to play it in soprano with the right hand part. There are various other ways to do it, but the easiest one is with the right hand part on a solo registration. Even with this trumpet, for example. Maybe not this trumpet, but for example, bar pipe, rohrfluit, nasar, and tremolet. Maybe even, yeah, it would be very beautiful if we do this like this on the Bovenberg with traditional Dutch tremolet, okay? And the accompaniment sounds could work very well on the let's say 8 and 4 whole pipe and flute. Yeah, and pedals could have 16 press stand, bourdon, and 8-foot press stand, as you can see. Right, very, very beautiful. So let's keep this registration for now. There could be any other versions, right? It's beautiful, beautiful solo. Marcus says Shalmei solo is beautiful too. Exactly, let me show you. Let's try Shalmei without Vox-Humana. You see, it's a little stronger. I prefer in this case Vox-Humana though. Remember, it's like a meditation, right? So it doesn't have to be loud. We could actually improve the left hand part with tremolant too. It doesn't hurt. Everything with tremolant sounds nice. Yeah, like this. You know, there are probably 20 other versions which would sound equally well on this organ. Yeah, it doesn't have to be all of them in one piece, so you just pick one. You could be, like Marcus says, tremolant, and perhaps the principal would sound very nice, or flute, yeah, sound very nice. It could work as well. So, yeah. And by the way, if you want me to play and teach you how to play the left hand solo in this piece, right, instead of the right hand part, in the tenor, basically 1 octave lower, I have opened like a super chat goal, and you can take a look at this. We have, I think 30 minutes, no, 13 minutes for this if you want to do this in this live chat in the tenor. But for now, let's focus on soprano in the right hand part. All right. Sure. So now let's focus on the accompaniment of the piece, of the tune, and creating this beautiful refrain figure, which could be repeated between the chorale phrases or in the middle of the piece as well, in the middle of the phrases too. So the thing we need to decide is how many parts, how many voices will we have in the left hand part and in the pedals, right? What kind of texture, right? Right hand part will have just one solo voice, okay, and the left hand part and the pedals will take the accompaniment. But how many voices in the pedals would we need? Of course, we could have 2, not even 1, right? But for this registration, 16 and 8, I would stick with 1 voice in the pedals. But then what to do with the left hand part? It could have a single voice, and then we will have soprano, tenor, and bass, like a trio, okay? In meditation, this could be done, of course, easily. We could have 4 voices, soprano, 2 voices in the left hand part, and the bass. So the left hand part would work in intervals, not in single line. Intervals of interesting sounds. Left hand could also have 3 parts, like in chords, right? Then in general we would have 5 voices, right? 1 in the right hand part, 3 in the left hand part, and 1 in the pedals. Okay, it's probably easy to to decide, right, which version, 3 voices, 4 voices, or 5 voices, because let's aim for something in the middle, not 3, not 5, but let's do 4 voices. 4 voices we could handle 2 voices in the left hand part, 1 in the right hand part, and 1 in the pedals, easily. All right. Okay. Let me play the tune one more time. Now with this right hand part registration, with the vox humana combination and the tremolant. And what I will do now, I will hold the bass on the pedal note F, like a tonic pedal point. And let me know if it sounds beautiful or not. Just the bass and soprano. Okay, here we go. What do you think? If I play just the pedal F for entire piece, for entire minute, right? Does it sound beautiful? I think so. It may not be enough, of course, but the first scale degree F, in this case, in this F major key, would work on any other measure, right? On every measure, because the structure of this beautiful tune is so that it's in pure in F major, natural major tone key. Do we have B flat? No. We have F, G, we have A, we have D, C, and we have D, right? Analyzing the tune will help us decide on the left hand part and the pedals as well. Do you know what I'm playing? I'm playing major pentatonic mode, right? In this case, it has. Let me play with the prestant on the Hauptwerk and not horn. 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6. Those those 5 pitches. Pentatonic, it's called major pentatonic. Minor pentatonic would be from D. But minor third interval would be right at the beginning, but minor third in major pentatonic is in the middle. We don't have B flat, right? And we don't have E. No 4th scale degree and no 7th scale degree. Exactly those pitches which make up a augmented 4th or diminished 5th, basically a triad. In major pentatonic or minor pentatonic, there is no such scale degrees, no such notes. Therefore, there are no minor seconds, only major seconds or minor thirds, right? Therefore, this beautiful mode sounds so peaceful because there is no half steps. Each half step is very tense and dissonant, and there is no tension in this mode at all, right? Therefore, we can play around with these pitches, in our meditation as well, in our left hand part as well. So, what if? And now we're taking deeper look at the left hand part. If we're just focusing on the pentatonic, so to say, scale degrees from F, G, A, C, and D, we could do a lot of things with it. And let's say we want to play two voices at the same time. We could play ascending motion and descending motion, right? I would show you very simple. I will hold the pedal note on the note F all the way through for a while, and let's complicate a little bit left hand, right? The pedals will stay on F, very easy, right? Everyone, even 5-year-old can press F, but then your entire focus will be on the left hand part. And I suggest we start with the interval of the major third, like this. What happens now? We are playing parallel intervals in ascending and descending motion. We're kind of playing like a scale, up and down, only from pentatonic notes. So no B flat, no E. But it has to be comfortable for you, slow tempo enough that you're playing those with double intervals. Use finger substitution. Traditionally, if we're playing in the left hand part, tenor range, it shouldn't descend below C, tenor C, right? So it shouldn't descend below this note. Let me show you. Below this note. So we could start like this. Or we could start like this. And the tenor, if we are singing in a choir, wouldn't descend higher than A. The highest notes in the tenor range for mixed choir are A, but even then they're very seldomly used because not many tenors can sing A, right? Even G is difficult to sing for a lot of people, a lot of tenors. So if we could keep it most of the time between C, this C, and this F, our tenors, if they're singing this music, would actually be thankful, right? Because tenors normally can sing between C and F. And even G. G, I think, is okay. This octave and a fifth, perfect fifth, it's called a duodecima in the compound interval system, right? An octave and a fifth. I think you can safely use it, right? Not this A. A is probably too much for most choirs. Okay. This note A, for example, below the tenor C, is already too low for most of tenors, right? So we could play it in the left hand part, but not as part of the vocal range. All right, so that's the theory behind the creating suitable range for your left hand part. And so now let's keep playing without the right hand part. Let's keep playing those notes in the left hand part, starting with this interval. All right, before we play this, we need to decide on the meter, right? Traditional meter is either 4/4 or 2/4, basically duple meter, right? You could change it any way you want. You can make it triple meter, you could make it compound duple meter, you could make it simple triple meter, you could make it compound triple meter. Then we would need to change some rhythms. But for starting point of this meditation, I suggest you stick with the original meter, 4/4, common meter, right? So, and if the tempo for the meditation is like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's an adagio tempo, right? 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. By the way, don't be afraid to conduct yourselves like a conductor. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. How are we doing on the goal? yeah, the goal has ended. So, if you want to contribute those super thanks, super chat, go ahead and and do it while the stream is still going. Of course, I appreciate your support very much, really. Now let's count 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. If we start moving in quarter notes, this is what happens. I'll play around, okay, a little bit. It doesn't have to be always up and down. It could be like this, downward, up, ascending, 2 notes up, 2 notes down, or 3 down, depending on your wishes. Okay, what do you think? Is it boring? Yes, it is boring. But the idea of meditation is actually to be very repetitive and calm and pleasing at the same time. Very, very calm, monotonic, peaceful, yeah? Whatever characteristic words would you use to describe it. It doesn't have to be boring though. You could make it more interesting too, melodically, harmonically, or rhythmically in the accompaniment, right? We have already decided what to do with the right hand part. We just played the tune on the beautiful Vox Humana registration on the Bovenwerk, but what you can do with the pedals and the left hand part is up to us, right? Up to us to decide. And the easiest way to do this is to actually to keep holding tonal pedal point on the tonic on the note F and play quarter notes intervals according to the major pentatonic mode, up or down, quarter notes, right? But it turns out it's a little bit monotonic, yeah, it's a little bit predictable. Oh, that's what I'm looking for. It's too predictable. It has to be interesting, it has to be beautiful, but at the same time exciting. It has to be surprising, right? That's would be so to say interesting. Let me check the stream. Marcus says, hello, I joined a little late. Again, registration. Yeah, let me show you registration. Registration for the left-hand part. We are on the Hauptwerk. Those two features: whole pipe, flute, and tremulant. On the Hauptwerk, those three stops are just for demonstration, not for the performance right now. I actually can remove them. We don't need them. And on the right-hand part, we have a barb pipe, roar flute, nasat, flute, 2, vox humana, and the tremulant. And in the pedal, 16 and 8 foot stops, basically. Press down, bourdon, and press down. All right, welcome, Marcus. So yeah, that's possible. But again, to keep it exciting, we have to think about unpredictability. If we always play, so to say, beautiful quarter note rhythms in the left-hand part, after 5 or 6 measures, it becomes too predictable, right? It becomes a little bit something you want to switch, right? If you switch too frequently, it's too unpredictable, right? It doesn't have a unity. If you switch less often or doesn't, if you don't switch at all, then it becomes too predictable and there is very little contrast, right? Because we have to use a balance between a unity and a contrast in any piece of tonal music. No, not even tonal music. It could be modernistic, dissonant music, avant-garde music too. Yeah, the two main principles. The main principle in musical compositions is a good balance between unity and contrast. Yeah, if you play too many repeated things, it becomes too unified, and after a while it is boring and it becomes predictable and not exciting. Yes, too much unity. If you start changing things all the time, and yes, it's not unified. It's actually very unpredictable and a lot of contrast. But after some point, this contrast becomes also boring, right? Because there is no unifying factor in this contrast. So if we change things somewhat, but also keep things the same somewhat, right? Then we have a balance, good balance between unity and contrast. In any piece of music, in any piece of good music which has stood the test of time, you can find this good balance of unity and contrast. I could challenge you to find otherwise. But certainly we want to create this piece and make it interesting, right? Whether we are writing it down as a composition on paper or on the screen as a music notation software, as a written down composition for others to play, it's the same principle. It still has to be unity between contrast and balance between unity and contrast, right? Whether we are writing it down or just improvising on the spot, right? So what I've just played for you was just too much unity, right? Because my left hand part was very predictable, moving in nice quarter note rhythms. in up and down stepwise motion using only pitches from the major pentatonic mode. 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6 scale degrees in F major key. Nothing else. No contrast in melodic material, no contrast in harmonic material, and no contrast in rhythmic material. Everything is in quarter note. So, so what to do if we want to make some contrast in those three things? Melody, harmony, and rhythms, three main elements of music that we can control and make some unpredictability, some contrast, some unity, some contrast, and some unity. Let's talk a little bit about each of them in turn, right? The melody, right? A left hand part only, left hand part. We could do the same with the pedals, but let's keep them separate for now, not to overcomplicate things. The melody means the top note of those intervals that I'm playing. Two note sounds of the left hand part. I'll show you. Right. This is the melody is like this. This. This is the melody, right? But I'm creating sounds out of this tune and out of this mode. But if they always move up and down in stepwise motion, in predictable motion, then they become too boring without any surprise, right? So how about changing things once in a while, not too often, but make the basically make the sound, the direction of the movement unpredictable. Sometimes you move up, sometimes down, in the middle of the scale itself, like this. Like this. Right? It could be interesting to do this. Second thing, harmony. Harmony. Should we always stick with those intervals? Moving in stepwise motion, basically in parallel to each other. We're playing like a major pentatonic mode with if I'm playing with two fingers, it's like a canon, right? Starting from C between those two hands. Yeah, we could do this, but to keep it interesting, more interesting, so to say, we could start like this. Still two voices at the same time sounding. But already a little unpredictable. Like this. I'll play a little bit of without the mic. Okay, that's already a little better, right? Left hand wasn't too predictable in terms of melody and harmony, right? Vertical sounds and horizontal sounds, because melody is horizontal shape of the tune, and harmony is vertical shape of the tune itself, right? Of the sounds. So we have created something interesting. I have created something which has a balance between unity and contrast. Unity is we are still always using a major pentatonic mode in F, but the contrast is that we're creating a little unpredictable, surprising elements in melody and harmony in terms of shapes, vertical and melodic shapes as well. Is this enough, or we could do it better? I think so, because we haven't discussed the third element, which will be crucial right now, is rhythm. And by the way, how many elements of music we should be concerning with? Seven. Melody, harmony, rhythm, those are three main ones, and we will deal with them today, manipulating them to the degree that they become interesting and balance between unity and contrast, melody, harmony, and rhythm. But there are four more. So the fourth one could be registration. We already decided on this registration, and we don't need to manipulate it anymore. We don't need to create a contrast in registration. No, it's all unity in this registration. It's all unified registration between all the chorale phrases, all the tune phrases. Other contrast is being done between element of melody, element of harmony, and element of rhythm, but not in registration. Okay, we don't need to change pistons after each phrase, for example, to create interest, musical interest. No, we can keep moving within the same soundscapes, right? Within the same colors of sound, basically, of the organ. So this is number 4, right? Registration. Element number 5 would be what? Dynamics. We could use the same element, the same registration, but I could use swell pedal, but swell pedal doesn't work von Bovenwerk. It only works for Sweelinq in this organ, so I would need to change registration to the Sweelinq and literally open the box or close the box to create dynamics, right? Dynamics. I don't need. I think it's good enough for meditating like this without the swell box. All right, and a couple of more are left, and one of them is texture. Number 6 is texture, and we already have decided what kind of texture we will have. Texture is 4-part texture with the tune in the right hand part. Two parts will be in the middle accompaniment, and one part will be in the pedals, in the bass. Okay, 1, 2, and 1. Right hand will take 1, left hand will take 2, and pedals will take 1 again. So that's the 6th element of music, texture, and the 7th element of music, which is very important too, is form. We have already decided that we will create a meditation on this particular tune, and the form of this meditation will expand the tune in a way that I'll play interludes or refrain, recurrent melodies or new melodies between each of the tune sentence, each of the tune phrases, so to say. Yeah, so that's our form, so to say. Ritornello chorale prelude. basically, if we are talking about Baroque forms. That could be something like this. Recurring material and new material also. Good balance between them. Okay, any other questions? Tempo. Good. Thank you, Mark. Marcus is referring to tempo as this another element. Tempo is part of the rhythmic realm, because there are subdivisions of rhythm elements. Rhythm itself, there is of course meter. We have decided it will stay in 4/4 meter, and there will be of course slow adagio tempo, right? It will fall under general category of rhythm, element number 3. And let's talk about general direction of the rhythm. What kind of balance between unity and contrast can I create with rhythmic terms, right? Up to now, I only played quarter notes in my left hand part. The right hand part was a little bit in more contrast with the left hand part, because we had quarter notes, we had dotted quarter notes. What else? We had dotted half notes. We have 8 notes. Yeah, 4 main rhythmic figures basically. Otherwise, it's still predictable, because those figures are repeated from time to time to create a nice tune, to create a nice song. But in the left hand part, up to now, I only played with quarter notes. No other rhythmical contrast was presented in the accompaniment. So now I can create some interesting rhythms for you, which may or may not be repeated. If we repeat interesting rhythms, they will become part of the unification of the piece. Let me show you what I mean. Let me still play the pedal bass F. Let me show you the pedal view. Yeah, I'm playing this F note, long pedal note. And now let's concern ourselves with the left hand rhythm. Okay. Instead of playing quarter notes, 1, 2, 3, 4. Instead of playing this, let's introduce a smaller rhythmic value, like a 8 note, but still keeping, of course, 4/4 meter. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? Like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. Yeah, it's already a little bit of contrast. But if we repeat this figure every measure, it becomes a little bit, again, a little bit predictable, a little bit boring after a while. So we could have, of course, dotted notes, we could have quarter notes, we could have 8 notes, and we could have longer notes, like half notes or dotted half notes. All the notes that are present in the tune itself, all the rhythmic values that are present in the tune itself, could work for our left hand part as well, or pedals later if you want to switch things around. What I mean, like this. What do you think? What about playing the two notes one after the other for some time? Two notes one after the other. Dun, 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 dun. Like this? Yeah, it could work, of course. Feel free to try it out. Generally speaking, when the right hand part is stationary, left hand could be moving more actively, right? Because right hand then is holding the note. When the left hand part is stationary, right? More or less less active, right? Then right hand part could be moving depending on what's going on in the tune. That is how many pieces of Baroque compositions are created in choral prelude genre. Yeah, we are creating basically like a choral prelude here, but using more modern means. Rhythms rhythms could be similar as in Baroque times, but for example, the mode is pentatonic. It is an old mode, but it's folkloristic mode, of course, but it's not part of the Baroque musical language, right? So it kind of sounds fresh or contemporary, right? But we could easily create a texture that reminds of a Baroque choral prelude as well. We could create imitations between those two parts, like this. Okay, and you notice that any sound I make sounds beautiful on this keyboard, on this F major pentatonic mode, because they all six pitches work together very well, because there is no fourth scale degree and seventh scale degree at all in this meditation so far. We could create it. It doesn't mean, actually, I have to emphasize, even though the tune doesn't have other pitches than major pentatonic, it doesn't mean we should stay in major pentatonic mode all the time, right? Because if we imagine other pitches, they would still work with the chorale tune itself, with the given cantus firmus, because they're not part of the mode. We can create a new mode which would work with some other pitches, right? But it's a little too complex for today's lesson, right? To creating other modes, more advanced modes than it is written in or coded into the tune itself. Therefore, we don't need to overcomplicate things right now. Oh, of course, we could create modulations and start the same mode, the major pentatonic, but from different pitch, from G major. Look how fresh it sounds already. Or E flat major. Or F sharp major. Just sharp keys, black keys. But so to say, we don't need to do that right away because F major is good enough. We can create enough contrast between other things of the seventh elements of music to keep it unpredictable and interesting. For a limited limited time, of course, our meditation created in this way will not keep your interest for much long, right? For how long can I play like this and you will still listen to me and say, oh, it's still not boring? I predict between 2 and 4 minutes. 2 and 4 minutes if I play in the same manner in F pentatonic mode. Because after 2 or 4 minutes it becomes again predictable, and you need to figure out another way of contrast, right? Either change texture or change registration or change the mode, right? Transposition, some kind of things. Or yeah, you could create it even longer, or change dynamics, play it suddenly very loudly, or tempo, as Marcus suggested. You could change, start playing very fast, right, in the middle movement, and then come back to the slow movement at the end. That could be ABA form with contrast in the middle, but that would exceed the purpose of this little meditation that we're creating right now. It would be more complex, advanced ternary form, which we don't need. It's a little more complex for today's purpose. All right. How are we doing in terms of stream? Everything's going smoothly? No dropped frames. Good. You can still hear me? Good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your donations, for your super chats, for your memberships. It's very much appreciated. All right. So we know what to do with the left hand part in terms of melody, in terms of harmony, in terms of rhythm. You can create a little bit unpredictable rhythms, right? And it's already interesting enough to sustain your interest for a period of time of 2 to 4 minutes. That's what we need, of course, from this meditation of this beautiful Auld Lang Syne tune. So let me play it for you, what I can demonstrate right now. We haven't moved a single pedal pitch yet. It's all in F. Yeah, I'm still pressing F, and every contrast I do is on the note F. It's based on the general feeling of F, major pentatonic mode. Okay, for now it's still okay. So let's demonstrate now a little bit. What do you think? Is it beautiful enough to sustain your interest? I think so. It could work. Think about yourself. If you're playing this for your own congregation or a group of people, would they think it's interesting enough for this type of meditation, right? For a limited voices, limited minutes, right? 2 to 4 minutes. I think so. And so you could still play like this. But now let's talk about the elephant in the room, the left hand, the bass part, the pedals, right? And what can we create that could be a little bit of a contrast in pedals, more exciting than just long pedal note F, okay? For one thing, we could change from F to some other pitch from the major pentatonic mode. Let me show you the pedals. Instead of playing F, we could switch to G. Yeah? Or instead of playing to F, we could switch to A. Or instead of F, we could switch to C. Or from F to D. And even back to F. Or even lower, low D. Or low C, right? Any of those pitches would work. We don't need to create a fast moving pedal line, but to change it once in a while to some other modal note of major pentatonic F in the pedals, it would be very interesting, yeah? So let me show you how it works. Together with the right hand part and left hand part, of course. Okay, what do you think? Is it already more interesting? I think so. Once you get the hang of the moving pedal notes, which don't have to move too often, from F to G to A to C to D, it's already interesting. I skipped that part where you could play a scale up and down in the F major pentatonic mode with pedals. I skipped it literally because you could do it like we previously did with the Lenken part, playing just the pitches like this, or starting from the lowest note, this. Every two measures, right? We could change to the new modal pitch, scalar note. Yeah, up and down, up and down. But after a while, if you play it in ascending and descending motion every two measures, it becomes what? It becomes predictable. And predictability becomes a little bit boring. So I suggest you do it, you switch things a little bit. Instead of playing every two measures, you would change it every 3 measures, or 2 and 3, and again 1. A little bit unpredictable, whatever your feet want to play. And also, another thing is you can play leaps, not only a stepwise motion, and that becomes a little more unpredictable, but still unified because we're still within F major pentatonic mode. So that's very, very interesting to explore and not very difficult to do, right? But I intentionally left it for the last part of the stream because usually pedal part is more complex for people to manipulate, right? To play interestingly than the hands, and because they're more advanced with hand playing than the pedal playing usually. So keep it simple. Keep a long pedal note on the F for a while, and then change to something else, and then come back to F, and that will be quite enough for initial stages of your improvisation. But then if you want to proceed a little bit further and create even more contrast, then make it unpredictable in creating melodic leaps between the pedal notes, and even creating interesting rhythms. Oh, how about creating, now switching things in the rhythm department of the pedal part. Instead of playing long, unpredictable, holding pedal points in F and other notes, you could play the same pitches, but with a different rhythmic values. So you could switch things every measure. You could switch things every 2 measures. You could switch things every half of measure, right? Or even every quarter note. It's up to you. So what I will demonstrate right now is probably going to be enough for you to start working on your own. But I will also add additional bonus step for you after this. So let me play it, interesting rhythms in the pedals for you, and then we'll come back and talk about the bonus tip for you, how to make the piece even more exciting and less predictable within the elements that we have already discussed, right? Stay tuned and let's see you on the other side. So, what do you think? Can it be like an standalone composition? If I wanted to write it down, would other organist want to play it? Maybe, maybe not. Could it be improved? Of course, and I will tell you a bonus tip about it in a second. But I think what I just played for you was actually quite unpredictable, but also unified, right? And hopefully this was interesting for you enough to follow along. So you can do it yourself, following my steps in your own practice room or your own church, on your music studio too, to recreate the same feeling with this beautiful Auld Lang Syne tune. And your congregation will be delighted to know this. It's possible to create a meditation like this. All right? But before we end, let me tell you as one more secret. How to make it even more exciting, even more unpredictable and fresh, right? If we think about organ music for a while, in terms of choir, I always refer to soprano, alto, tenor, bass as a choir, basically elements, right? Choir terms. Then what I played is actually nice. But do you know that not all the parts can sing all the time? Sometimes soprano can be silent, which actually was the case, yeah, because I created interludes between choral phrases, between the tune phrases. But also the alto can be silent, or the tenor can be silent, or the pedals can be silent as well. Meaning that sometimes you don't have to play with 16-foot registration in the pedals. Your feet could just rest, and your hand could be playing a little bit without it. And those periodic rests in the pedals are actually very interesting to think about in symphonic terms too. If you think of this composition to be performed or arranged for orchestra, your own improvisation, right, on this particular tune, what instrument would play your pedal part with 16-foot registration? Of course, the double bass and the cello, right? Most often in classical or Baroque periods, cellos and double basses played together very often, but technically, of course, not always, and it's not even an exception of the rule. It's actually very often that the bass rests a little bit, right? Creates like a feeling of freshness if the orchestra plays without the double bass for a little bit, and then the basses come back, double bass comes back, and this low gravity with 16-foot sound, one octave lower than the let's say the cellos would play. It's already grounding and creates a lot of foundational sounds, which is very beautiful. So the same is for the organ music also. If you check any traditional organ repertoire, you will find that it's actually the pedals which are not always playing. Listeners don't always get the 16 feet in the pedals. And you don't have to play the pedals all the time. And your feet could actually take a rest once in a while, right? Think about your feet as the third hand, so to say, and like an additional instrument, maybe even like a wind instrument, right? Think that or a choral part like the bass, and people would like to take a rest once in a while after a long phrase. Let's say, let me play a phrase for you in the pedals, and it will actually make sense if I play it in F major pentatonic phrase like this. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what I did? I just created a similar structure as in Auld Lang Syne tune, but with the pedals. And in between of chorale phrases or sentences, I created a few measures of rest. So then, after a while, my basses, my instruments, double basses could rest, right? Take a rest, and then come back, breathe in, so to say, with fresh air, fresh lungs, and then continue playing along for 4 or 8 measures, right? And then again, take a rest for a while. So that's what I'm going to do now. For the last time, I will play it for you, and please follow along what I'm doing with the right hand part, the left hand part, and the pedals. And this time will be even less predictable, because I will switch things around in the accompaniment department as well, creating some interesting rhythms and rests. So that's crucial for you to understand, and it's not very difficult to do if you do all the previous steps, of course. So let's do it one last time. Enjoy. So, what do you think? Can this also stand the test of writing it down and letting other people play it? Maybe. Of course, it depends on who wants to play it and if you have good enough occasion, right, to do it. So, but that's the basic idea of how to create meditations, right, on such a beautiful Auld Lang Syne tune. So, I could say Happy New Year for you almost, yeah, if you're looking at this tutorial at a later date. And of course, feel free to add things and mix things up and spice things up with different techniques if you want. But this is the basic path that you could follow with creating meditations on this Auld Lang Syne tune. So if you enjoyed it, thanks so much for your support, for your donations, for your super chat, for your memberships of this channel or on Buy Me a Coffee platform. Everything is written in the description of this video. And if you want to check out my written down meditation, which I created earlier, you can check out the link in the description of this video as well. It will be something different that I laid today, but definitely something interesting to explore as well. So, I'll meet you next time with another tutorial next Sunday, of course. Stay tuned for this. You can send me requests if you want. What would you like to learn next? And before that, on Friday, I will meet you on the bench with Vidas series, where I will present interesting material for you to listen, interesting music, improvisations, but already in the new year. So, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and stay tuned. And of course, if you're an organist and you are playing the organ and trying to improve, remember, when you practice, miracles happen.